Hey, gang, we're live. This is an impromptu session. I hadn't really planned to go live, but I figured, you know what? It is the Animation Truman Show, and part of the Animation Truman Show is just kind of being transparent with the process of what does it take to create a cartoon. Well, one of the things it does take is music. So I was working on this a little earlier today, and kind of just let this play a bit. I found I was making a bit of a mistake. And the mistake that I was making was I was leaving the soundtrack playing, and I was really trying too much to make the music um, interact, not just as a sort of a commentary and support for the visuals, but also interacting with the sound effects and the dialogue and everything. And I've done this before. I've gone down this road before. It's a mistake I've made a million times. You'd think I'd learn, but kind of where I landed was, um, you really can't. You really need to let writing the level of the music overall sort of determine how it interacts with the show soundtrack, because if you don't, at least for me, other composers may be different, but for me, I really run the risk of winding up with very disjointed feeling music that is doesn't really have great integrity on its own, right? As far as the just the feel of the music. Now, one of the stipulations of the show is certainly that I have a very specific palette of sounds I'm using for the most part, and I am trying to keep the score on the light side, in as if you had to go into a studio and record with an orchestra. Well, you wouldn't have an orchestra. You'd have like a maybe a 20-piece combo or something. That's the approach I'm taking on the show in general. Is a little bit more of a sparse approach. But anyway, so I was coming up with these figures that seem to work well over the visuals and or interact between the lines of dialogue and stuff. But I did kind of feel like I was, as I say, painting myself into a corner. And so I wanted to just kind of go back and just, like I do so often with animation, you wind up just redoing things and trying again and whatever. So like that line right there with the low strings, I just added a little bit ago to just fill in this blank space. It's okay if it goes to silence during the show, but I still want the music to stand alone as a piece of music. Hey, Nagut Nagut. How's one of my favorite animators actually in our little community? Nagut Nagut, for those who don't know, Nagut Nagut is quite a capable animator. And I know I've said this before, but I love the fact that Nagut Nagut was around for quite a while before I even realized he was, like really good kind of thing. There's a lot of talent in our little group. I can't, I won't lie to you people. Actually, it has been going through my mind the idea of saying, okay, Salt and Light is really my project in the same sense that the old Akari thing I was working on, that's really Valerie's project, right? And so she's kind of king of that project, and queen, I should say. And so whatever we wind up doing with that is really she gets to decide, right? Because that's hers. But I have thought about. We do have so much talent in this little community that it would be fun to um, do something that's original, not a Salt and Light thing. Although that's a possibility too. I have actually a composer friend, like a Facebook friend, who really talented young guy. I mean, he's just really a couple years out of high school, I believe, but really talented kid. And I was thinking about maybe asking him if he's interested in doing some score on this, just to just to get a different voice, a different feeling or a different interpretation would be really cool. So I was thinking about that from the vantage point of, okay, Dave, if you were gonna if you were gonna do such a thing, in terms of a team thing, what what are the strengths of each of the people in the little group? Um, and the funny thing is, one of the things I thought about was I thought about Amar, the comments he's made about being more of a, I kind of skewered him a little bit on the whole idea of being a visionary as opposed to really, you know, mastering the grunt work of animation and storytelling and all the rest, which he is working on, obviously. But I thought in a group environment, I actually would love to see him be the director. I actually would like to see him do exactly what he says he thinks in his heart he would actually be best at. You know, that'd be a very cool thing. As I say, there's enough talent in the community to do some amazing work. If it was sufficiently organized, you know, you could really do something that could be, you know, pitched to Amazon or Tubi or one of these platforms that wants original content. Just something I'm thinking about. Okay, so what we have here is connective tissue. Okay, so from here on out, I need to turn on the metronome because we can't. I don't necessarily have to quantize everything, but certainly it's very important to. I've made this mistake scoring before, where you let the tempo drift, and what that usually does, if you go back and listen to really good scores, they don't ever hardly let the tempo drift. Sometimes, oh, Amar's doing it. Okay, awesome. I'm glad to hear it. I think that's great. Okay, so it must be a psychic thing where I was feeling through the vibes of the universe. You know, that's probably why I was thinking about it. You know, I don't know if that's a thing or not, but it could be. We don't know. But I think that's awesome. I mean, you look at what Nagut can do as an animator. Certainly, what Full Chain can do. If you wanted to take the kind of stuff Darren's doing, which is really cool in the sort of funny, you know, simple funny character kind of zone. I mean, that's a really marketable style that he's developing. And then you look at what Alan Dan does. Basically, what Alan Dan does is sort of the a more complete realization of that, you know, because he's been doing it so much longer. But it's the same basic type of, you know. So it's like there's all these different voices, you know, in the choir that if everybody could do what they both enjoy and kind of feel like maybe they're good at, and just try, you know, just try. I think it's a very cool idea. Okay, so what we have here is bop, 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 bop. So we actually have a 5-beat bar here. So that's no big deal. That's not a problem. So I just want, as I say, connective tissue so that musically it has integrity. So and I feel like I want something. I'm going to actually play around with maybe pairing up the pits and the. I got to look at what I think I ended up on a B7 there. Okay, so in other words, when it comes back around after this 5-beat bar, it goes back to, which is a real, you know, it's a theme, frankly, that I'm getting sick of, right? It's getting, I'm at risk of overusing that concept, and it's worked well, but, so, actually, I'll just say this. I was thinking about, at the time when Tianara becomes more part of the story here, I was thinking about that old song from the 60s, Hey Hey Lonely Girl. Something that calls that to mind, I think would be, so that something that's less bouncy, because obviously this is bouncy. I want something that's a little more legato and a little more emotional. But the other thing I'm seeing in the score is that it's important. Hey, Darren, it's important to, and by the way, hi, Maria. I don't think I said hi. It's also important for me to not try to, no pun intended, underscore the emotion or the, you know, sort of how a scene is moving using music. In other words, the chords and melody. You want to do that, but it's more important to have a unified feeling where the music works as a piece of music, and then use the orchestration more to support the little changes, you see it here, if I can find it. Might be here. Yeah, I threw in some pretty aggressive trombones there actually on the bottom. See what I mean? Stuff like that where I don't want to be too Mickey Mousey about it, but it's a balance I'm still trying to find for this show. You know, I don't think I'm particularly great at Mickey Mousing. Um, but usually if I find the melody concepts that I like and in timbres that I like, usually what winds up happening is to the degree that one would want to Mickey Mouse it and really have a lot of changes that fairly directly you know, reflect what's going on in the visuals. I probably do actually Mickey Mouse a lot, but I don't. But when I set out to Mickey Mouse, I suck at it. I do a terrible job. Oh, now I got the wrong instruments. So what I was thinking here was, I think what I was playing around with was the piccolo and the pizzicato together. Something like that. And then you could let that hang. Because the idea is it really needs to come back around to a B7. So harmonically what's happening there is that's actually what's happening. You know, you don't hear it, but that's what the music is suggesting, and that's what you want because you're coming back. You're going from a 5 to a 1, what we call in Baroque music a cadence. You know, so it would be. See, so that works. Thing is, it's got to have 5 beats, not 4, in the measure. So let's see what we have here. Ooh, okay, I was wrong. I don't think that 7th needs to be in there. So we've got. So yeah, this is not going to be pretty. This is you're seeing the unglamorous. Oh, the yeah. Thanks, Maria. Glad you didn't give up. Are you referring to the thing on Discord about the voiceover, or are you talking about something else entirely? I think I'm going to change this. Let's see. I need to get. Okay, so that's B. One, two, three, four, five, six. Oh, okay. So yeah, it's 1. Okay, the other thing I could do is actually let's listen to what's going on beforehand. I may just stretch this out an extra beat. I'm going to go ahead and let the voices play for half a second.
There you are.
Bless you, Asher. I wish we didn't need the help, but with the king's taxes so high...
Oh, it's nothing.
Okay, yeah, I actually like that a little better, and now I've got a straight 1,
Oh, it's
2,
nothing.
3, 4 beats.
Where is Melchizedek?
To the more back into the bouncy theme. So you're talking about the voiceover, okay? Yeah. No, I think Darren will do it. I have to say I can't remember what the muff or whatever it was. I found a voice generator, text to voice thing that was better quality than the kind of freebie one that everybody was looking at, but I still don't think it's probably up to scratch for using.
I wish we didn't need the help, but with the king's taxes so high.
Okay, let me just get that figure in there. 3.
Oh, it's nothing. Where is... Oh,
Okay.
it's...
So that does sew it together.
I wish we didn't need the help, but with the king's taxes so high.
Oh, it's nothing.
Okay, so now what I want to do is probably go to the contrabass. And slow down the attack a little bit. Okay, so we're basically going EB, simple cadence, so whoops. Again, if anybody finds this like dreadfully boring, feel free to go find something better to watch.
Everyone be patient. There's plenty for all. There you are.
Bless you, Asher. I wish we didn't need the help, but with the king's taxes so...
It's very subtle. I like that.
There you are.
Bless you, Asher. I wish we didn't need the help, but with the king's taxes so high.
Oh, it's nothing.
Just a little bit of bottom to punch it up. And again, you know, when it comes time to do the actually sew it all together, I expect probably what we're going to do is we're going to have a automation. I'm using a different template here, so I'm having to relearn what the icons are. Template, I shouldn't say template, I mean theme. I'm using a different theme because the darker theme I normally use in Reaper is pretty hard to see actually on this computer. So basically you just, there you go. So that we can just add nodes wherever we want. Right, and just, so thinking about the mix as a separate step from the composition, which is a separate step from the orchestration for me. Although they do run together and they bleed together obviously to a degree, but okay, so now here we've got this figure that is okay. I don't have any idea what the chord is. Yeah, just that actually worked. Just a simple French horn chord there on the A to just fill in the space. Again, at the mix time, we can always just pull it back out. But I want it to work. If there was no, you know, if there was no show, does the music work? And that may not be the right approach for everybody. For me, I think I do better work. Ugh, that is just too mathematical. So, and this happens a lot. Like I did that just a minute ago and I thought it sounded good, but then once you back up and get some context, it's like, not so much. I really like that push on the French horns. It's the feeling is sweet at the time when he's serving the villager. I think maybe that's just a straight It's a major second, but what it really is the 1 and the dominant 7 on the B chord is what's going on there. I like that. See what I did there? So this is what I just put on there. Then we go dissonant. It's just a droning. But when you take that and slap it over the whole figure, it gives it this, it's going back to Leonard Bernstein. It's giving it that little bit of harmonic ambiguity that really makes it just a little bit more interesting. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and edit that because I think this one should be softer. Very soft. And this one should be gone, and this should actually just sustain. Methinks. Still too hot. It's still too hot. Look at that, boy. The velocity on that is like really low. Just doesn't take much. And by the way, that's another thing I've learned. I'm gonna run an automation on the master of the music so that it flows nicely with the soundtrack. But I've found that when you're composing, you really don't want to ride the faders volume wise on instruments too much. It's better, like in other words, if I want my trombones to get louder, it would be better to go to have a figure in the music that goes like that rather than something like this. The second way kind of gives away the digitalness of it a little too much. A YouTuber called Sideways who explores music and movies and such. He has an interesting one on the use of the manipulation of 3 simple notes in West Side Story. Yeah, Maria, right. West Side Story, Maria. Oops, I'm in the wrong place. Okay, so the low note, I think it's in here. Yep, right there. Okay, so it sounds to me like we've got actually I wonder if there's some volume automation sneaking in there that okay, guess not. I'm looking for a channel that's got something on it. If it has an asterisk by it, that means there's some automation in the data, like these little points here. Oh, I see what I did. I actually had a second note. Okay, so let's just take this one out and extend this one. And that may not work. I may actually have to put in multiple notes and actually get them quieter. Let's find out. I think I'm going to. I'm going to split this 3 times and just bring these down to almost nothing. Oh, I should mention another thing. When you hear, I'm actually responding to something that I forgot about, which is when the instrument, if you listen closely to the contrabass, you can hear it warbling a bit. Hear it kind of warbling in and out. That's actually not because of automation on the instrument. That's because the entire music track has a ducker on it, which means that automatically, whenever there's dialogue in the show, it pushes the music track down a little bit to make room for the voices. Yep, see right there? That warble you hear where the volume drops out, that's because in the show, I'll show you. It's because there's actually a lot of noise going on. So that, it doesn't push it down much, but it's just a little bit of a ducker on the music so that kind of protects me in a way, so that if the music's just a little bit hotter than it should be, the voices push it out of the way, as it were. So you can see what I'm not like, how do I put this? The music's a little bit on the cornball side, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that is by design. I want it to be simple timbres where it's just kind of alternating between them. It's almost like a musical conversation. Okay, and I don't think this is quantized, and I don't think I want it to be, actually. Okay, this needs a little bit more something. First of all, I'm going to double this on the oboe right out of the gate, just to punch it up a bit, but then the oboe version really needs to be softer. I can pretty much guarantee, because it's going to add a little bit of bite, nasal bite to the melody. And it may not work. That's not bad. Okay, so now, let's see. Maybe, let me see what's happening in the visuals. You don't want to... Okay, yeah. I'm just going to play around. I don't think this is necessarily the right idea. I need the click back on. Well, that's pretty dissonant. Okay, and now we've got Frenchies in there already, which should give you a pretty mellow... I'm going to crank them up to see what they're doing. Yeah, I actually added trumpet there. Wow. That's a bold choice. Okay, yes. And I remember now. I sustained that. Okay, we'll just keep going. And we can always come back, you know, and change things. Cool stuff. Okay, I want a little bit more of a punch there. Why don't I just steal this note so I don't even have to think about what the note is. I'm going to control, drag this down into the pits. Okay, and I have no idea if I want that to be higher or lower, so I'm going to go star -12 and then really lower the velocity, so it gives us just a little bit of a bottom punch. Not bad. I'm actually going to lower that another octave and see if it sounds better. Yep. And then because it is so low, I'm going to go ahead and push it a little bit more. I like that. That feels pretty good. Okay. Now that again, the kerrang sound. It's basically a sort of like a, what would you say, a native instrument or an indigenous instrument or something. From what culture? I have absolutely no idea. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This feels too strong to me. I'm going to take it out completely and see what it feels like. Okay, I see what I did. Oh, so I actually used the harp. Definitely too much. We'll just lower these guys one at a time. Okay, yeah, this is where it's a little embarrassing, frankly, because it's so simplistic and cheeseball that it doesn't. But that's what I usually, what I'll often do is I'll kind of throw in the melody, and then it's pretty easy to build up chords around it. You know what key you're in and stuff. So. Okay, yeah, see, that feels very wandering to me. So let me check a couple things downstream. Yeah, okay, so probably the little Mickey Mouse walk up is okay. But I'm feeling like probably that I think would be a cool figure to do as a, I don't even know what the musical term for it is. And then echo that, basically have another instrument echo that. Okay. But what? Oh, what the heck? We'll try it. It's probably going to have to be turned down a lot, but we're just having fun here. Okay, wait a second. Okay, that is correct. Okay. I have a tendency sometimes to accidentally follow a melody line around and then harmonize it, and it all feels good, and then I realize that without meaning to, I've actually switched to the key of the fourth or something. So like this whole thing is basically an E, and I actually had a situation earlier where it basically felt good, but something didn't quite. It was a little off, and I realized I had inadvertently um, allowed it to drift into the key of A instead of E, which of course they're very closely related keys. But yeah, that was kind of dumb. I'm gonna do it. Okay. So the danger here, of course, is that I'm gonna create that I'm gonna paint myself into a corner musically because I'm gonna have something that's starting to build some momentum at a time when we don't actually necessarily want much momentum. We really just kind of want some underscore, right? So this is a very real danger. I've done it a billion times. Make no mistake, I don't consider myself great at scoring. Okay, So what I'm feeling here actually is, okay, this would be a little tricky. Okay, so I'm going to end up on C sharp. I guess it actually probably wants to end up on the B7. Let me try it. Okay, that's going to be probably... Okay, I kind of botched it, but that's okay. So now we want to take this back out. This is one of those things where I'm just going to see if it works musically as just an idea, and then if it does, then we'll tighten it up and try to orchestrate it and make it sound good. Bad timing there for sure. Bad timing. Okay, so is this actually supposed to be 16th notes? Hit the Q key. Oh boy, we don't want that. And we don't really want that either. Okay, that is a debacle. This is where it's so badly played that you can't really quantize it and make it work. Okay, and that doesn't feel good. That doesn't have any human feel to it. We'll kind of go with that. Like I said, this is the kind of thing that is like, oh my gosh. It's like making sausage. You really don't want to watch. Soda Pop. How does Reaper compare to Audacity? Oh, there's no comparison. There is no comparison. Reaper is, if you're trying to do the type of stuff I'm doing, Reaper is vastly superior. I mean, I've scored all the movies I've scored. Well, not all of them, actually. I guess the first two I used a program back in the day called Traction, but and I tended to use Sonar as well, which is what Cakewalk evolved into in the late 90s. But Reaper, so at least 6 movies I've scored with Reaper. And, you know, Audacity as a sort of a standalone audio program, which also can multi-track, it's very, very capable, and it's you know, it's well regarded as an open source kind of a model project in terms of how they approached creating it. You know, it's a very capable program. It's great because it's free and everybody can use it. And could you do everything I'm doing? Probably, pretty much. I mean, you're not going to have the virtual instruments. Cool Edit Pro, yes, I used to use Cool Edit Pro as well. By the time Adobe bought it, I had already moved on to Reaper. But for standalone audio editing, I actually still pull out Cool Edit Pro every once in a while, like the version from like 1993. Most of the processing of audio for things like noise reduction and whatnot, most of the capabilities were pretty well technically figured out 20 years ago, right? The main difference in the music space nowadays has to do with just bigger sample libraries, pretty much, I would say. Now, you see that? That actually worked. You come back here and just let it flow through. Now, this is too loud for sure, but in terms of just being a nice unified piece, I think it worked pretty darn well. I'm going to basically scale all these. Scale it way down and then just bring it up a bit. Because with Audacity, you don't have MIDI driving instruments, so that's a big difference. Now, if you have a standalone keyboard like I have in my office/studio, the Casio I mentioned the other day, the sounds on that thing are actually pretty good. To where, if you've got a keyboard that's got decent sounds and you want to just do everything as digital audio, nothing wrong with that. Okay, so now, obviously, this definitely is not gonna... I'll turn it down as far as you can, basically minimal velocity, and see if it works, but it might just be too bitey of a sound. Okay, you're not gonna hear that little fancy smanchy da la 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 because the old man is actually talking at the time it goes by, so it's gonna get lost in the mix for sure.
Is there no one to help?
And musically, it's all a little bit busy considering what's going on in the show too. So I may add some stuff to support this harmonically, and then actually wind up taking the melody lines out. Sometimes that happens. It's just a back and forth. Okay, let me play around with. I'm having to look at the keyboard and really, really think about what the other voice is doing, because I'm not a great keyboard player. That's probably pretty obvious. I want to go to here. Okay, okay, so bump. No, I don't think that works. Nah, that's too dissonant. That's not what I'm looking for. So I think it's gonna be something like... I'm gonna try that. Okay. I'm not getting way out of sync with it. Not working. Oh, this is where I'm just trying an idea. Let me throw this back up in the piccolo just to see how that feels. Yeah, see, now you can't hear it because the velocity is so low. What time is it? 3:29? I'm gonna actually have to quit. Valerie and I have been watching Victoria, the PBS Masterpiece show. Really pretty darn good. Not like the best thing I've ever seen, but pretty darn good. Yeah, that figure works better on the piccolo anyway. So now you could argue that you really should be, if you want to sell it as a piccolo, probably you want to pop her up an octave. Yeah, and now I can get some nice smooth soft chords with the French horn, maybe to just kind of give it some glue, some connective tissue. Yeah, maybe. I'll try it. feel like I want a fourth note there, but that's okay. I think for now I'm going to have to quit because it's time for us to have our time together. So bring Zuko into the mix. Okay, quick look at the... I've been doing auto lip sync with auto AI voice and auto vector interpolation for lines and color. Cool. Yeah, post it. Put it on the Discord. You know, I think it would be cool if we recorded Zuko chirping and used that in a scene somewhere. Yeah, I mean, I certainly have enough rogue recordings of Zuko that have bled into other things I'm doing that it would be quite doable. But yeah. By the way, I like the sound you're creating, very cartoon, humble-like. Cool. I'm glad. You know, it's the hardest thing. Actually, the hardest thing about creating a cartoon for me, probably by far, is the score. I mean, there's other things I suck at, but if I just do it over, you know, it's like the animation stuff. If I just keep trying and don't give up, I generally I think I can get it. With music, it's such a challenge, man. Yeah, see, I could totally see now. I could totally see bringing in... I have no idea what the line would be because, and this is kind of a sin on my part, is I don't actually know what the underlying chords are right here. Oops, I don't want percussion, you silly goose. Bum 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 bum. I'm wanting something that probably strings that gives it sort of a gradual arc of lift through this whole section right here. So I'll switch to the full string so I can just kind of figure it out, I guess. Okay. Okay, I'm going to stop there. But I like what's happening. I mean, it was a little bit of a, you know, doing the actual scoring in a live stream is, like, for me, kind of risky behavior because I don't think I'm that great at it, and it's always a question of, is it going to make me a little better or a little worse knowing there's people watching it? I haven't decided yet. I think for me it's probably a little bit of both. But anyway, I think with that I'm going to wrap it up. And thanks everybody for hanging out. Looks like we've got 6 or 7 people, so appreciate it. Yes, thank you, Nagut. Remember to tickle the like button. Absolutely. And who knows, I may be back on later today, but maybe not. So we'll leave it up in the air. And as you guys know, there definitely will be more later.